This is going to be a very short little sequence set of exercises working towards some core engagement and body tension. Most of this is going to be on the floor this time. This should take about 10 minutes. So let's go ahead and start this on our backs. So feet on the floor, knees high, come all the way down. And before we take this too far here, we're going to start this stretching out the hands and the wrists. So bring your right arm up high, palm facing the ceiling. You can bend the elbow if you need to. And spread your fingers wide. Now keep the palm open like this, and then with your left hand, bring that hand over the four fingers of your right hand here. Now, with the left hand pulled down on the fingertips, but press the fingertips back up into your right hand and just take this into a level of tension where you can feel a stretch and hold that tension. Now, as you're holding on to this, start to move from the right arm. So keep the right arm high, but bend the elbow and let your hands come down toward your head. And then go straighten the right arm, but keep that tension between the right and left hand. And again, bend the right elbow, let your hands come down toward your face. And then bring that right arm up high, keep stretching the fingers. Bend the right elbow, let the hands come down toward your face. And then straighten the right arm and bring the hands high. And then just release the left hand. Now, keep the fingers spread wide, but this time take hold of your right thumb. Pull down. And just pull down at an angle where you can feel the stretch. Play around with this a little bit if you need to. Now, as you're holding on to that, keep that tension, but bend the right elbow, and this time sink the right elbow to the floor just outside your waist. Keep the hands pressing together and straighten your right arm. And then again, pull the right elbow down toward your waist as you're stretching the thumb. And then press that right arm up to straight. One more time, bring the elbow down outside your waist. And then press the right arm up high. And then release that. Shake the right hand out a little bit. Take it to the other side. So left arm high, palm facing the ceiling. Spread your fingers wide. And then the right hand covers the four fingers of the left. Now, stretch the fingers. Pull them down toward the floor. Just play around with the tension here. And then keep the upper arm high on the left side. So just bend the left elbow. Let the hands come down toward your face. And then straighten your left arm and the hands go high. Bend the left elbow, let the hands come down toward your face again. Straighten the arm and bring the hands up high. One more time, bend the left elbow, bring the hands down close to your face. Straighten the arm, bring your hands up high, and switch it out, release the fingers. And with your right hand, take hold of your left thumb. Find an angle where you can feel the stretch and press back into the hand as you're pulling down. Now this time, bend the left elbow, bring it down outside your waist all the way to the floor. Keep the tension, press the left arm back up to vertical. And again, bring the left elbow down to the floor outside your waist. And then press that left arm back to vertical again. One more time, bend the elbow, bring it down outside your waist. And then press back up to vertical one more time. Shake your left hand out. And we'll take this into bridge. Now I want you to grab a block here. And the block's going to go between your legs, somewhere between the knees or between the thighs. Now, you can use a narrower setting, you can use a wider setting, whatever you're able to hold on to. And you can bring it out really wide if you like. It'll change the engagement a little bit, but don't get worried too much about that. You can always switch this up. We're going to do 3 sets of 3 here. Each repetition we're going to take nice and slow, and I want you to keep squeezing the block as you lift and as you lower. So go ahead and bring that block between your legs, between your thighs. So arms down at your side. Feet on the floor. Here to start. Heels in close enough that you can flatten your lower back as much as possible while you're down. Now when you're ready for me, press on your heels. With an inhale, squeeze the block, press your hips up high, hold here. Now keep squeezing as you roll your spine back down. Again, take an inhale, press your hips up high, keep squeezing the block, squeeze your glutes. And then roll your spine back down to the floor. One more time, squeeze the block, lift your hips, stay lifted here. Now as you hold this, press into your heels, lift your toes up off the floor, keep squeezing the block, keep squeezing your glutes, keep your hips high. And then go ahead, roll this all the way down. Just take a breath and reset if you need to. You can bring the heels in a little bit closer if you like. You can always change the setting of the block if you want to experiment going more narrow or going wider. Now again, another set of 3. So go ahead and press down into the floor. Squeeze your glutes, lift your hips, and keep that block squeezing in between your thighs or squeezed. And then roll your spine back down. Again, press into the floor, squeeze your glutes, squeeze the block as you lift, and then roll this back down to the mat. One more time, squeeze your glutes, squeeze the block, stay lifted here. Now take it a little bit further. Press into your heels. Drag them toward your shoulders. Try to lift your toes. Keep squeezing that block between your legs. And then go ahead and roll this all the way back down. Just take a breather. And again, you can reset your feet a little bit, maybe bring them in closer, maybe change the setting of the block, wider or narrower. And then one more round. So arms still at your sides. Keep your gaze up high. When you're ready, with an inhale, press into your feet, lift your hips, squeeze the block, squeeze your glutes. And then roll your spine back down, keep it slow. With an inhale, press into the floor, squeeze your glutes, squeeze the block, lift your hips. And then roll your spine all the way back down. One more time with an inhale. Press into the floor. Squeeze your glutes. Squeeze the block. Lift your hips. Hold here. Now keep squeezing that block. Keep your glutes tense. Press into your heels. Try to pull the heels toward your shoulders. See about lifting your toes. And then roll all this back down. And once you come down, just go ahead and put the block to the side. And now I want you to have something for your feet to slide on here. So bring yourself up to a seat to set this up. Now I'm going to roll my mat in a little bit because I need to slide this on the bare floor. Now this has felt underneath it. Be sure you have something that'll slide on whatever floor you have. So I want to start this from that bridge position here, and the slider is going to go underneath your right heel to start. And just go ahead and use one. So bring this back down like you're coming into bridge still. And try to bring the heels in close enough that you can flatten your low back as much as possible while you're down. So the feet and knees are about hips width distance apart. Now from here, you can keep your elbows on the floor. If you like, I recommend bending the arms and keeping your hands curled into fists, or even bring your hands in front of your chest and just taking the weight on your shoulders. Now whichever you do here, go ahead, press into both feet and just lift your seat up off the floor about 1 inch or 2. So you're not lifting up too high. Hold this. Focus the weight on your left heel. Keep the right heel on the slider. And then while your seat is lifted, extend your right leg all the way forward. Just take it nice and slow. And then pull that right foot back in, but stay lifted. Extend that right leg all the way forward, nice and slow. And then draw the foot back in. Take this slow here. 3 more times. Extend your right leg forward all the way. Pull the right foot back in. 2 more times. Extend that right leg forward all the way. And then slide your right foot back in again. Now 1 more time, extend that right leg forward all the way, hold here, point through the right big toe. Now to take it further, just lift the right heel up off the slider, hold here. If you can go further, draw little circles with that right big toe, maybe about 6 inches or so. And then draw those circles the other way. They're not big circles. You're going to feel everything waver a little bit side to side. And then set the right heel back on that slider, bring it back in, bring your seat back to the mat, take a breath. And then to switch this out. So the slider is going to go underneath your left heel and the right foot is your base this time. Now again here, you can have your elbows on the floor with the arms bent, hands and fists. Or you can bring your hands in front of your chest and keep the arms lifted. But either way, press into both feet. Just lift your seat up off the floor, maybe 1 inch or 2, and stay lifted. Focus weight on the right heel. Now, slide your left heel forward. Straighten the leg as much as you can. And then slide that left leg back in. Slide your left leg forward all the way again. And then slide this all the way back in. Slide your left leg forward again. This is the 3rd time. Slide it back in. Got 2 more times. Slide your left leg forward all the way again. And then slide this back in. Now 1 more time. Slide that left leg forward all the way. Keep that leg extended. Point the toe. See about lifting the left heel. And then try to draw little circles with that left big toe, just a few inches in diameter, not too big. And then draw those circles the other way. And then set that left heel back on the slider, bring the left foot back in, and set everything back down. And then once you're back down from here, just go ahead and put that slider to the side. Grab your block again, and bring the block between your thighs. Now again, you can go through a narrow setting, you can go wider, whatever suits you best here. But squeeze that block between your knees, a little closer to the knees than the inner thighs. And then arms out of your sides, keep the shoulders on the floor, and take this into a supine twist. So lift your feet, keep the knees bent. And then fold your knees to the right as far as you can go, but squeeze the block. Keep your shoulders down. Fold your knees to the left side as far as you can go here. And then bring the knees through center, over to the right again. And then back through center. Bring your knees to the left, squeeze the block. Now knees through center, over to the right one more time. And then come back through center here and over to your left side one more time. And then bring this back into center. Go ahead, release that block. And bring yourself up into a seat however you need to. You always grab the knees and roll this forward. Now, see if there's still some space to slide on here for your feet. We're going to bring this to a variation of both, but I want you to bring the one slider in so it's available here. And then take hold of your knees, sit this upright, and lean back to take your feet up off the floor, just barely. Now just feel out your balance here. Draw the thighs in close. You're trying to engage some compression, which means you're trying to bring the thighs to touch your belly as much as you can. Keep that pulled in as much as you can. Now, when you're not used to doing this, the legs want to go pretty far forward. So you can use your hands to curl everything in and try to feel that tension right at the hinge of the hips. And then see how you can best hold on to that without that grip. Try to sit this up tall, press your low back forward. Now we're going to move from here. So I want you to bring your hands to the floor. You can always lean forward toward your hands. The effort is going to be to keep the legs in close, but bring that slider in so you can set the right heel down on it. Now go ahead, slide the right leg all the way forward, point the big toe. Keep the left leg pulled in. And then slide that right leg back. Slide the right leg forward again. And then pull back in. Slide the right leg forward as far as you can. Pull this back in. Slide your right leg forward again. Pull it back in. Now one more time. Slide your right leg forward, point to the big toe. See about lifting the right heel, just hold this. Set the right heel down, pull back in. And then go ahead and bring your feet to the mat for a moment, shake things out. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So when you're ready, just sit yourself upright, draw the thighs in close. And this time, hands to the floor, and your left heel is going to go on the slider. Keep the right thigh pulled in. Now extend your left leg straight forward, far as you can, point the toes. And then pull that leg back in. Extend your left leg forward again. And then pull it back in. Extend your left leg forward again. Pull this back in 2 more times. Extend your left leg forward again. And then pull that thigh back in. 1 more time. Extend your left leg forward. Keep it forward. Keep the right thigh close. See about lifting your left heel, pressing your hands. And just hold. And then left heel down. Pull that leg back in. And just take a moment here. Loosen up your legs again. All right, and then from here, we're going to take this onto the forearms. And now you can have the mat folded in half so you got some padding for your forearms, but you need some smooth space to slide on for your feet. Now I want you to grab 2 sliders this time, 1 for each foot. And so the toes are going to go on the sliders here. Now you're going to bring this into a forearm plank, basically. So the toes stay in the sliders, the heels will stay high. Bring your forearms to the floor. You can have the forearms parallel, or you can press the palms together. Just see that your elbows aren't sliding out to the side. So you want to keep the elbows about shoulder width. Now I want to take this side to side. So go ahead and just slide your feet back, bring yourself into a forearm plank. Keep your body in line. Focus the weight on your arms. Press in your hands to distribute the weight across the forearms. Now we're going to take this back and forth 1 foot at a time. So you're going to pull your knees out to the side, trying to get the knees toward the shoulders. So bring the right knee forward toward the right shoulder far as you can. And then slide that right foot back. Bring the left knee toward the left shoulder. And then slide it back. We're going to do 10 rounds. Right knee toward the right shoulder. Slide it back. Left knee toward the left shoulder. Slide it back. Make the motion smooth. Slide the right knee forward. This is the 3rd round. Slide it back. Slide your left knee toward your left shoulder. Slide it back. Slide the right knee toward the right shoulder. This is the 4th round. Slide it back. Slide your left knee toward the left shoulder. Slide it back. Now slide the right knee forward toward the right shoulder. Slide it back. Slide your left knee toward your left shoulder. Slide it back and take a break. Bring your knees down. And I want you to see that you can move through this slowly here to keep the tension as you're moving. So I'm not trying to kill you. We're just going to take the break and break this into 2 sets of 5. So you can take a longer break if you need to. But when you're ready, bring your forearms back down. So forearms to the floor, again, parallel or with the palms together. Just keep your toes on the slider, slide your feet back, and then we'll take it side to side. Right knee forward toward the right shoulder. Slide your right foot back. Left knee toward your left shoulder. Slide it back again. Right knee toward the right shoulder. Keep the motion smooth. Slide this back. Left knee toward your left shoulder. Slide it back. That's 2 rounds. We got 3 more. Right knee toward the right shoulder again. Slide it back. Left knee toward your left shoulder. Slide it back. Right knee toward the right shoulder. Slide it back again. Left knee toward your left shoulder. Slide it back. 2 more rounds. Right knee toward the right shoulder. Slide it back. Left knee toward your left shoulder. Slide it back. Last round. Right knee toward the right shoulder. Slide it back. Left knee toward your left shoulder. Slide it back. Bring your knees down. Take a couple breaths here. And that is it for this sequence. I hope this helps. Thank you.